In a moment, I want to get to the New Hampshire primary results. And before I get to that, I want to share something with you that, in my opinion, is way more important than those primary results. It's a special story about the wonderful men and women who serve our nation to preserve our freedoms. On Monday night, if you watch it so often, you might remember I told you about how much I loved when the Super Bowl crowd went absolutely wild during Lady Gaga's national anthem performance when the cameras actually showed our servicemen and women in Afghanistan. Well, I received this unbelievable email from one of our local vets today. I want to share that with you in a moment. But first, here's the clip of the national anthem, Lady Gaga's national anthem I played for you on Monday night.
That our flag was still there.
I love that part when they show him over in Afghanistan. So then today I received this wonderful email from a POV viewer. He's a 20-year-old disabled vet by the name of Tim G. And he wrote this. He said, thank you. I want to thank Chris Berg for the mentioning of our troops on the Super Bowl airing. The showing of the troops at the national anthem of the Super Bowl was at the Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. My wife and I think one of the troops shown in the back was our son, Justin. Wait till you hear this. This is unbelievable. We have not talked to him yet to confirm if it was him, but Justin is stationed over there for his eighth tour now. He did I'm getting goosebumps, just 2 tours in Iraq. My daughter, Sandra, is a disabled war veteran from 2009 from serving in Iraq. I am also a 20-year retired disabled veteran from the Air and Army National Guard. Anytime we can mention our troops still over in the combat zone is an honor. Thank you, sincerely, Tim G. No, Tim. Thank you and your family from the bottom of my heart for the email and what your family obviously has done to preserve our freedoms. If anything that I or we here at POV can do for you and your family, please let me know. Just 8th tour. I read that today and I just was like, oh my gosh, we have no idea what some families go through having their sons and daughters over there for just, that moves me. All right, I want to move on to the New Hampshire primary for a minute. You think about how PO'd people are right now about what's going on in our country. And some people are going, you know what? How in the world is a Donald Trump or a Bernie Sanders going out there and just crushing it in the polls right now? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to the establishment people. And the reason why is because people in America are sick and tired of the establishment gimmicks and games. And I'm going to give you a perfect example right here about what just happened last night to Bernie Sanders. Look, love Bernie Sanders or not, this is ridiculous. Bernie Sanders goes out, and according to a lot of people out there, he had the biggest margin of a primary victory in the history of a primary. He goes out and crushes Hillary Clinton, yet he's going to walk out with less delegates than Hillary Clinton does. And I don't have this all memorized here, but essentially there's 24 pledged delegates in New Hampshire. I don't want to get too wonky here, but roughly 13 or 15 of those are going to go to Bernie Sanders because of the fact that he absolutely just shellacked, obviously, Hillary Clinton last night. But Clinton goes out. She picks up 9 there because of the election, the primary. But also what the game is, what the gimmick is that nobody's really talking about is there's these things, which I'm sure many of you have heard the term before, called superdelegates. That's when all the, old establishment party goers can go and they can pledge their devotion, if you will, their delegate vote to whoever they choose. And many of these superdelegates said, hey, we're going to choose Hillary Clinton long ago. So now you've got a situation where Bernie Sanders goes out, crushes it in New Hampshire, crushes Hillary Clinton, does exactly what he's supposed to do from a meritocracy standpoint, as we often talk about on the show. And yet, because of the gimmicks and the games that are involved in politics, Hillary Clinton walks out with more delegates than Bernie Sanders. If anybody out there is beginning to question why people right now are so sick and tired of dealing with the establishment and the gimmicks and the games that they play, I don't think there's a better example of what you need to know about, hey, you know what? Enough's enough. If a guy goes out there, or a woman for that matter, and crushes it in an election, then clearly they should get more delegates. Stop the games. Quickly, what happened in New Hampshire on the Republican side as well, and I'd love to know your thoughts, what you think is going to go down here, because from what I'm hearing, latest reports, Chris Christie now out, Carly Fiorina, out. Ben Carson, I'm assuming, is going to be out very, very soon. Kasich comes in second last night, which I think was kind of expected in New Hampshire. I mean, the guy practically had residency there. He was there so much. Obviously, Trump comes out big there. And then you've got Bush and robotic Rubio coming in right after Bush. It's going to be fascinating. Cruz as well, came in third. But it's going to be fascinating to watch what happens down in South Carolina, because Cruz has got money. He's got the ground game, and clearly you're going into a much more conservative area in South Carolina, where I think you're going to see Donald Trump and a Ted Cruz have a nice little battle down in South Carolina. We'd love to know your thoughts on what took place last night in New Hampshire and what you foresee happening as we move into South